658, right, Ruth?
It is. Yes,
658. I was actually thinking about this morning when we started the show, the Saturday morning show was, I think, like February, March of 2018. So, we've been running the show for a little over 3 years ago on an idea. And here we are, 3.5 years later. And everyone was talking at the time that there was going to be a bubble in real estate. And now we only have 27 days of inventory. So on today's show, we're going to talk about what we need to do in this environment here, what real estate agents need to do in this environment here to get more listings. That seems to be the challenge right now. If we can just get more product out there and build a story or solve a problem or a need to get, people who are looking to maybe move up or, exchange homes here in this market environment so that we can compete better and you can continue to get paid. So before we get to that topic though, Ruth, what is happening in Las Vegas and real estate in general?
Let me put you down in the lobby for a second so everybody can see the screen. And here we go. Like Max just said, we have 27 days of inventory. That's good. That's good. Last year at this time, we had almost 2 months of inventory, but we're listing homes. We listed 130 single family homes yesterday. And I keep telling you, the market is churning. So it's not the 27 days of inventory are stagnant. The market is churning, which is good. And of those listings we took yesterday, 40 of them were under 400,000. And our median price right now is 403,000. I'm so happy that it finally went back down a little bit. And we have 840 homes under $400,000 on the market that are active, which is truly active, not under contract. They're truly active. We did put 97 homes under contract yesterday. We closed 143. And we're doing about 121 sales a day this October. The average for the year is 142. So we'll see how the rest of the year plays out. Normally this time of the year starts to slow down a little bit around November, December because of the holidays. And then January, it slowly picks back up. But we'll see, because last year that trend didn't necessarily happen that way. It kind of stayed pretty steady. In fact, last December, I believe in that luxury market, we had sold more homes in December in the luxury market than we had sold the entire year. So yeah, the trends are changing, definitely. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is the non-owner occupied buyers that are in the market. There are 44 homes that are sold every day that non-owner occupied buyers are buying. So they're buying them to rent. And a lot of them are institutional buyers. I call an institutional buyer anybody that owns more than 10 homes. But most of the market, 80% of the market is actually the mom and pop owners, we call them, not the institutional owners. So that is some good news. So Max, I'm going to bring it back here. Here we go.
So, wow. I mean, medium home price, 402,000.
Well, 403. It came, 403. It was 410 and it came down.
I never thought the day would come we would be over 400,000 here in Las Vegas market. Okay. So this is incredible, actually.
Yes, it is. It is. And if you bought a home in 2015, for instance, the average price was $217,000 just 6 years ago. But the good news is you gained $186,000 in equity just based on the median price. I'm not taking into consideration the principal that you bought down as well. So
correct.
Yeah, and the forecasters don't see it changing. So
until interest rates rise at some point to a point where it forces. I'd be interesting to see. We should have a mortgage person here that runs statistics on the lending side, because that would be interesting to see what the average income is versus the mortgage payment, right? Because we're really not thinking about price anymore. We're really got to consider what the payment's going to be, and that ratio determines whether people can afford to buy these homes or not. Even at these prices, because I mean, 10 years is 5 years ago, 30-year mortgages were still right around
4.5.
4.5. You know, if you got lucky, 3.5, right? If you got lucky, but we're still under 3 again, you know, at 3.1. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to know. And
maybe we'll get Mark on. We'll give him those questions and get Mark back, because he's pretty much on top of things like that. So I'll reach out to him and see, you know, if he wants to do some statistics. Maybe I'll give him your Facebook Messenger address, and he can. You two can go back and forth. And yeah, cool. That's good.
Yeah. That's good. So no signs of slowing down, especially with the news this week that Tesla is moving their corporate headquarters now to Texas. All right. So more people, more companies moving out of the state of California. And that trend is probably going to continue here.
Oh, yes.
Pretty soon. So, you know, like Ruth, you were ahead of the game, and you and John always, you know, marketed to Southern California and California people, knowing that, you know, this is one of the destinations that they seek for. So if you want to get more buyers in the inventory here, just in case the market eventually turns around and maybe evens out a little bit, marketing to Californians, probably a good idea.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So today I want to talk a little bit about, we don't have a guest. Our guest couldn't at the last minute, couldn't make it, but that's okay. I want to talk a little bit about, you know, what it takes in today's market for the average agent to succeed. And this is the time of the year. There's 84 days left in this year to create your business plan for 2022. It's hard to say in 2022 already.
Right.
And then go through a little bit of stats, and then a little bit of ideas for the agents today. So Max, I think we'll go in the lobby, and I'll make a sound check just to make sure that people can hear us. I can put myself down there. I'm back. Okay. All right. So can we hear you? I can put myself down. Let's see. Talk a little bit, Max. I want to see if I can hear you on. I'm back. Okay. All right. So can we hear you? I can put myself. Hold on. Let's see. Talk a little bit, Max. I want to see if I can hear you on. I'm back. Okay. All right. So can we hear you? Myself. Hold on. Let's see. Talk a little bit, Max. So let's see if I can hear you on. I'm back. Okay. All right. So can we hear you? Myself. Hold on. Let's see. Talk a little bit, Max. So let's see if I can. Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't. Okay. All right. So can we hear you? Myself. Hold on. Let's see. No, I don't think they can hear you. Okay. Well, let's. We can go back and forth here a little bit. So here's the 8 levels of performance. The first thing is you've got to get your plan together, and I'll put this up here like this, and making money now is all about your foundation, and so you have to get your business plan, and then you have to expand your marketing, and that's the number one. That's the bottom of the pyramid. And what it's saying is basically, this is your core. And this is basically your core agent as well, which there's a lot of them. And when you move up to the elite status in the pyramid, you're getting consistency, because either you're doing mailers, and I know everybody says, oh, mailers, but mailers do work, and you're doing videos. People would rather watch videos than read a blog. You can do vlogs, of course, which you want to do a video in your blog and then send them to your website. And then once you gain that consistency with your marketing, then you need to start delegating your work and perhaps even building a team. And that's the next level. So once, if you do a deal a month in this market, you're grossing about $108,000 a year. And if you're doing 2 deals a month, you're grossing about $216,000 a year. And at that point, in order for you to grow and still have some free time in your life, I would suggest that you get a part-time assistant. And I talked a little bit about this earlier in the week. And then you now start to build a team. So you're growing your team and giving yourself some leverage so that you can go out and get more face-to-face, do more door knocking, make more phone calls, and not be caught up in the day-to-day administrative work, because that doesn't really make you money. And then you can maximize the production of your team. And I have a whole class on that. So, but on this pyramid, once you do that, then you can multiply your profits, because at that point you need to optimize your business, and that's not that difficult if you have a plan in front of you of how to do that. And I do have a booklet to share with people on how you do that. And then you need an exit strategy, right? Because you're building this business. So someday you might want to retire, you might want to move to a different state, and you want to have something solid that you can sell. So your whole idea of building your business is to have an exit strategy. And I'm going to bring Max back to talk about that for a second. Let's see, Max. Okay, 1, 2, 3, here you are.
Yeah. I'm surprised that gain consistency is third behind expand your marketing. But as more and more I think about it, it probably makes a lot more sense, because if you don't have enough business, it doesn't matter how consistent you are about doing on the business. You're not going to do anything. So you want to create the problem of having more than enough business so that you can execute on the activities necessary to serve that, that marketplace. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And these 8 levels of performance come from a conglomeration of different coaches and things. And the people, like you take a Tom Ferry or Brian Buffini, and they have a whole, they have coaches that coach tens of thousands of people. And so this is what they've come up with to determine the best way to build your business to be successful, because they are helping all these tens of thousands of agents with building their business. So this is a pretty solid pyramid here. And then one of the things that I'll tell everybody, and Max, you can just stay here, because this basically is just saying that you need to target your market. And the median age of home sellers right now is 56 years old. And what does that mean? What that means is, do they live in a 2-story house and they maybe want to go to a single-story house? How many years have they been in their house? And those 2 factors right there, you can target your market. And there are many programs out right now, like Vulcan 7, that Tracy and John use. And you can hone down into, how many years people have been in their homes. And that'll tell you too, like we were talking earlier, in 2015, the interest rate was, in even 2014, if people have been in their house 7 years, which is pretty typical, 7 to 10 years, their interest rates, if they haven't refinanced, is probably higher. If they haven't refinanced, it's an opportunity to start a conversation and perhaps say, if you're not interested in selling right now, perhaps you should be interested in refinancing, and make it a customer service email or call. But that's the age bracket that people should be targeting, and it's not that difficult to figure that out.
Absolutely, and I was just thinking about a marketing plan as well here, as far as, especially with people who are in their homes for more than 10 years, right? There's usually some maintenance things that need to be done. And if you know what age group, and if you have that information, for all people, if all you do is market to people who've been in their homes for more than 10 years, and you got to start solving problems that they're going to be encountering with their real estate, which is, maintenance stuff. Yes. And then maybe building help them build a thought process around maybe whether they want to do that maintenance, right? Or whether they want to upgrade upgrade and
Yes.
move into a house that's already maintained.
Yes.
And so, I mean, there's so many different ideas that you can really think about once you have all this data and you have an idea of where you're targeting.
And it's interesting because I know in my career when I was doing real estate, once somebody told me something versus something maybe I knew but didn't, categorize it in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Once, like when somebody says, "Oh, 56 years is then I believe it and I can go after it."
Right.
I think a lot of people don't do things because they don't know that their instincts are correct. And I always love when I see this because I can think, well, maybe this homeowner wants to have an investment property and
Right.
because their principal is down, maybe they refinance, maybe their payment's
Correct.
low, so then they can rent it because rents are high,
Mm-hmm.
and start thinking about when you have a target, then you can start thinking about ways to market to that target. And
Correct.
that's the whole purpose of this slide. I'm going to try something here, Max. There it is.
That's way better.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. It worked. And then, okay. So then when you're marketing to these people, this is something that really is working. You need to have a landing page. Now, if you have an Agent Formula website, you can build your own landing page. But anyway, would you like a crazy offer on your home? And the purpose of this can be a Facebook or an Instagram or a YouTube ad that you put out, or a post that you boost, or a reel that you show. This has lots of places where it can play out for people to fill this form out and tell you what their crazy price would be. Because in this market, you just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was just thinking about it. My copywriting kicked in, and I was wondering if we replace the word crazy. If I think about what people are thinking about right now when they're selling their house, right? They're not necessarily, the word crazy to me could mean a lot of things. I mean, is it crazy undercutting my, what my expectations are? Part of the population that reads that will think that. And is it crazy, like, a crazy high price? And so I would put something like, would you like a, quick, well thought offer that gives you the actual market value, if not better, on your property? I mean, it's something a little bit more expansive because that's what people are thinking, right? I think the majority of individuals are aware that this is a seller's market at this point. Yeah. So just a thought. I digress.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Tom Ferry just shared this at his Success Summit this week. Mm-hmm. And because the people that are doing this are getting results. And I think it's a 50-50. 50% of the people won't respond, Max, but probably, you only need a few that will.
Right, exactly right.
Yeah. So, but that's, so you create and you test a Facebook and Instagram, YouTube ad. You send an email to your database with a link to this page. And then you send a mailer to your farm or around recent sales with a QR code that drives them to the landing page. Mm-hmm. So however you word it, if you do these things, this is the secret, is the landing page that has them fill it out. And then, then you call them or email them or get in touch with them via text. But it gives you the opportunity gives them the opportunity to tell you what they want to list for. And that's one of the things that many of the coaches nowadays tell you. When you walk in the door with your listing contract, don't put a price on it. Mm-hmm. Let the homeowner tell you what the price is. And John and Tracy just did this with a home here in Red Rock. And 3 years ago, that home was worth about $850,000.
Wow.
Okay. And the seller said, "Do you think I could get $1,350,000? And John said, "Let's try it." Before the weekend was over, they had one offer at $1,350,000 and another offer at $1,300,000. And these are people coming in from California. And right. So had he gotten this flyer, he probably would have put $1,350,000. I mean, that's just to let you know what is going on out there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
3
So
years.
anyway,
600,000.
this is something in the core level where you start marketing.
Right.
Right.
You have to create a page that builds your database. That's the whole point of this landing page here, is that at one point or another, you need a place for people to go to offer their information in exchange for something valuable, right? I mean, this is a marketing, like an internet marketing thing that's been around for the last 15, 16 years.
Right.
But I can tell you that what's happening, and I see a trend, right? I mean, I view myself as the consumer and as a trend on top of doing this. So I would not rely solely on this. I'm a big believer now on what Gary Vee's been preaching for the last, 6, 7, 8, 9 years now, which is you got to build a brand, right? I look at this form, and especially, probably younger people, not maybe like the 56, 6-year-old where they're kind of still new to this, and, they don't understand what the marketing engine is behind putting your information like this on. But for me, who understands what the objective of this landing page is doing, the second thing, once I get it to a landing page, the second thing I'm going to do before I put my information in, unless the information is just extremely valuable, right? Which if a home seller is looking to sell right now, they're going to put in that information regardless. But there's probably a subset of people that you're not capturing because you don't have big enough brand out there yet. Because the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google your name, right? Ruth Allbrand, right? John Allbrand. Who is this person, right? I'm going to look at your reviews, right? If you're trustworthy or not, and how many other people get social proof. Right. And then I may go on YouTube and see if you've done any marketing. I want to see you in action, right? I want to see you doing your job somewhere. And if you check all those boxes, guess what? I'm more likely going to put my information in because you're now a verified force. So maybe I'm stealing your thunder here.
No, that's fine because you're walking right into it. Mm-hmm. I do the stats every day. And what do people want to know? What's going on in the market? When you can print out my stats, they're not branded. You put them in your purse, you put them in your pocket, whatever you do. You say, oh my gosh, I'm a member of this group, and look, every day we follow the trends, and here's what's going on. And you show them, when people see it on a piece of paper, it's better sometimes than when it comes out of your mouth, right? For what it's
people are visual. That's why
it's social proof.
Yeah, right? People are visual, and they believe what they see more than what they hear.
So to that point, when they go, if you just take my information and create your own little video out of it and put it on YouTube every day, and it takes 3-4 minutes, and you study the information, you can, use this. I don't care. I'm creating it for you.
Here's a marketing idea for everybody here. Me, Ruth, all these marketing ideas. If you're lacking in content right now, here's what you need to do right now. I mean, how many subdivisions are here in Las Vegas?
Hundreds. I mean, there's 200 new ones. So
right. I mean, maybe 1,000. Right. Yeah. So I mean, here's the next year's content for someone who eventually watches this video and decides to take me up on this offer here, because I would go to every morning or every day or whatever, or you can do it on a weekend, right? I mean, you can batch these videos out, like record. Yeah. So basically take the stats for that week, or look on the MLS, or look on recently homes sold, right? In a subdivision, stand out in front of the sign of the subdivision and said, hi, I'm, Ruth Allbrand here, realtor, with blah, 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 right? Do all the legal stuff. And it's like, I'm at the subdivision here, and this week, right, this past month or this past 3 months, here's how many homes sold in this area, and here's the median price range. And then I could hold up the price sheets right here, blah, 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 blah. And then literally that could be a 60-second video, right, that you can put on your Facebook page, your Instagram stories, if you want to do a conglomerate, if you want to do a 10-minute video to get ads on YouTube, put 10 subdivisions together and put it up on YouTube and build your brand around Las Vegas. And and I just gave someone a full year, if not 2 years worth of content that they can put on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
And one of the things that the Buffinis and the Tom Ferrys of the world are saying, when you do these videos and tell people about the market, say, what's the name of your subdivision, Max?
Hawthorne.
Do you live in Hawthorne in Las Vegas? Well, stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you what's going on in your community and Las Vegas.
Right.
You're going to capture that farm. If that's your farm, and the stats say if you can capture them in those first 5 seconds, and if you're watching a YouTube, which most people are watching YouTube, and all of a sudden this ad comes on, it grabs your attention.
Absolutely.
And then click here for a free market evaluation of your home. So anyway, great segue there.
Yeah, exactly right.
So, and again, here we go. My geographic farm.
We can't see. I can't see anything on the screen, Ruth.
You can't.
It's just a pink blank.
I can on mine.
Oh, there you go. It just popped up.
Okay. Anyway, here's 10 ideas. What are your top listing sources? Well, my geographic farm has got to be number one. Sellers directly from watching my videos. We just talked about that. Google My Business page. You just talked about that.
Right.
Of course, open houses. And then you want to invite people to go to your YouTube channel when they come in to see the open house, right? So that they can keep abreast of the market. And then a lot of people work expired listings. Right now, the expired listing tips and tricks, and it's a great market right now. A marketing idea. But anyway, then Google local services. And there are some ads that run on Google and YouTube that if they don't get an impression, you don't get charged. So why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, that's
and there
perfect.
Again, you want to say, do you live in Hawthorne? And they want that ad's going to come up. Right. And the people that are interested are going to click on it. The people that don't live in Hawthorne probably aren't going to click on it.
Aren't going to click on, you're right.
So anyway, that's a brilliant idea. And then sellers who called direct after reading reviews. There you go. Google My Business page. And then, of course, here's a big one. This one is really working in our market. It's called circle dialing around recent sales. So you make a phone call and you say, Max, this is Ruth from ABC Realty. Did you just hear about your neighbor? And you're going to say, what would you say? Do you want to know about your neighbor?
Sure.
He just sold his house for $1,350,000.
Right. Wow.
In 3 days.
I can tell you that works because, and the fact that once a home sells, especially in this market where the sales price is unexpected to the neighborhood, right? That same thing happened in my rental neighborhood right now, where a year ago it was worth $420, now it's worth $550. And then someone put a smaller house on the market for $535,000. We all thought it was crazy in our Facebook group. It's like, we hope everybody's cheering on to hope this sells, because then it sets the new price point. And sure enough, once it sold, there was like 5, 6, 7, 8 other listings in the neighborhood.
Exactly.
Right? Because people.
And if you use these services like Vulcan 7, there's other ones that give you phone numbers, right? Or if it's sold, just go knock on the door. Just leave a flyer on the door.
Exactly right.
So anyway, circle dialing right now is really, really, and it's an old way of getting listings. I mean, literally, we used to take a physical map and draw a circle around the area that we wanted to knock on doors, leave flyers, and call. And back then, there was a phone book.
And I can tell you right now, obviously with what's happening in the world right now with COVID and that situation, you may think you want to be tentative about going door to door and whatever, right? But I can tell you now's the perfect time, because if you have the courage to do it, obviously be respectful, right? Do your social distancing. If you want to, if you want to wear a mask, then that's great. Just be respectful. But I can tell you, no one's doing it right now. Right. So you would be a standout among real estate agents right now. Right. And if you show you're professional, to dress up appropriately, have a, something to leave behind or just something memorable.
Leave a pumpkin with some cane.
Right now, especially. Correct. Yeah.
And then, of course, just sold cards.
Yes.
These things work. I mean, after 3 or 4 months of receiving the just sold cards, all of a sudden I've been receiving mail for you forever. And even though it's just been 3 months, right? You You keep.
And here's a great part of what's happening in neighborhoods now. You know, I mean, a lot of people have cameras right in front of their houses now.
Yeah, right.
So guess what? You're building content for that specific house owner, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they're gonna go, oh, here comes Ruth Allbrand again, right? But they're like, wow, here comes Ruth Allbrand again, and eventually they respect that. And you know, I mean, once they start thinking about selling their home, once they see you on their video security cams for the last 6 months, you know, stopping by every, you know, once a month or ever.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's another brand building here.
It is. That's a great point too. I hadn't thought of that one. And then people, I think, they think emails are old fashioned. Actually, emails are really getting attention now. And I think, of course, after COVID, emails.
Right. It's a little resurgence.
Yeah, they did. And so 14% of the people would love a daily email. So if I do the daily stats, email them to your farm. I'm giving you the content, so why not use it? Mm-hmm. And again, Vulcan 7 will give you email addresses based on a farm, based on a community. It's a fabulous service. Anyway, 22% want it several times a week. Almost 30% want an email once a week from you. And then 5 to 6% wants a fortnight. What's a fortnight?
Every
2 weeks?
No, I don't think I think a fortnight is every full moon cycle. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, maybe. I think that might be it. And then there's 11% that want it once a month.
I'm going to Google it while you're talking.
Google it. And then 7% less frequently than once a month. And then 11% not at all. Well, who cares about that last 20%? If you can reach 80% of the people that want an email, I mean, why wouldn't you do it? And in your first email, you can say, how often do you want to receive my information? And then you'll know who to do it daily, who to do it weekly, who to do it once a month. Did you Google fortnight?
Yeah, fortnight is actually 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Ruth, every 2 weeks from the day that it's set. Yeah. So yeah,
a fortnight. That's an old term.
That is an old term.
Yeah. So getting back a little bit now to the video, right? There is this cool tool called TubeBuddy, and I have to tell you, it is awesome. If you select a title, TubeBuddy will tell you what tags to use for that title. So this is like the recipe for success. And then and of course, Google owns TubeBuddy. So when you start doing these things, your videos are going to show up on Google as well. It will tell you with their SEO score what else to do to drive the maximum results. This stuff, I'm telling you, these are pearls of wisdom, everybody. Yeah. And then you can see what your competitors' tags are. You can actually, there's even deeper analytics you can go into your page, but it tells you what's being searched on YouTube without videos. I mean, just TubeBuddy is just the coolest tool. And if you're going to get into videoing, you need to do that. Now, I think the next slide is going to give you some other insight. Yes, there is a site called answerthepublic.com. So you put a phrase in there, like improve the value of my home. And answerthepublic.com is going to go through its algorithms and its data mining that it's done. And it's going to tell you if somebody wants to know this, it's going to show you this wheel. Each one of these little spokes are a question that you ask to get engagement with your videos. There's fantastic. So many, I know. There's so many cool tools out there for everybody. And of course, I'm trying to get people more comfortable with video. Okay, so now I did my video. Now what do I do with it? Well, there's a lot of things now. Once you get comfortable doing the video, now you got to take it to the next level.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Post every video everywhere, titled, tagged for SEO, and then boost it. When you do a video live, for instance, or even if you're doing a B-roll, like, you do it and then you upload it. That's called a B-roll. Let it percolate a little bit on the social media platforms before you actually boost it. Let it get some organic reach. That the algorithm likes that. And I would say at least a day and then boost it. So that's a key. All right, now let's see. I'm going to hide this one and let's hope my next one goes in the right direction.
Yeah. While you're talking there, I actually saw an interesting Facebook, one of those like rolling statisticals where they have pictures of, like this one was what's the most popular website since 2000 to 2019.
Yeah,
and they scroll through time, and everything moves up and down depending on how many people. And surprisingly enough, in 2019, so 2020, probably still true, is the fact that the three top visited websites in order of popularity here is 1 Google, 2 YouTube, and 3 Facebook. Right. So if you know that the majority of people are going on Google, YouTube, and Facebook, you probably want to learn and spend your time building your brand on YouTube, Google, and Facebook.
I'm going to hide you for a second so we can
Sure.
get this slide back where it belongs. There we go.
There we go.
They should make, anyway, that's another story. Okay, so with all these things, we don't have an inventory crisis. We have a lack of execution crisis. And that's what I'm trying to get the agents to understand. 44 homes are selling a day to people who are not going to live in them. They're non-owner occupied homes. And a lot of those are the iBuyers. And in our market, it's approaching 10%. So, 10% of 121 is 12 homes a day are going to the iBuyers.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want that to grow. And the way to get it to remain at that level is for us to do farming and execute on some of these strategies. And that's the point of this slide. One of the things that you can do is you can create a home buyer's guide. And this is another thing that you can do for your landing page. Now, this is a team, and I think they're located in San Diego. They have quite a team, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 people on their team. Probably they have a transaction coordinator. They probably have a buyer's agent. They probably have a digital marketing fellow. They probably have a videographer. And then they probably have people that actually do the phone calls, and then people that take the listings, and then the team leader. And because once you start rolling, that's what you're building a business. And this is what your business on the top of that team pyramid is going to look like, just saying. But anyway, this is a nice to buy in a home guide. And it gives you all the different points, like find the right agent, prepare your finances. And then it goes down to get pre-approved, start the home shopping, make an offer, open escrow. It tells these buyer all the things that are going to happen when they decide to buy a home. And it continues on. It's a pretty complete guide. And I'm going to, I'll post it on the group so people can look at it, create their own, or, you can pretty much duplicate it, just brand it for yourself. Mm-hmm. And this particular team, which is, I think this team is out of New York, New Jersey. Anyway, they did over 120 million in 2020. Now, we were still in the pandemic.
Right.
And they have proven success because they're offering, and they go after buyers. And I think in New York, they don't have an MLS.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So your marketing in New York is a little bit different. So if you're on the West Coast, your numbers could even be better than these because they don't have as much information or data mining that we have. Yeah. And here's the buyer's roadmap. So however, like some people were like, Jimmy Degg likes things like this, the circle, the graph, the chart. And some people just like the steps. So depending on, and maybe you want to do one of each,
Absolutely.
Why not? Or both. Yeah, exactly. And then here's another one, exclusive buyer's agent. And then it tells what you do. And then it says, let's discuss your objectives, because at the end of the day, you want to be a consultant and you want to find out everything you can about your buyer. You want to educate them on the home buying process. your unique value proposition, and then what you do to get your offers accepted, which is very important in today's market. And if you're a listing agent, and Aaron, I know you're sitting out there in an open house and buyers are coming in, you should have a buyer's guide for them, because now you have a house that you're selling, and now you have a buyer that you can sell a home to,
right?
Even if it's not the home that you're holding the open house for.
Correct.
So that completes your circle and gets you up to that elite status on that pyramid. And the funny thing is, this is what people think about us, that we just sit back and the money just comes to us, right? We're a taxi cab driver and then the money comes, right? They think that's what it is. When actually, this is what it is, right? We're handling the whole deal, trying to keep it together, trying to make sure the escrow closes, the inspection goes well, the preliminary title is good. I mean, there's so many facets, and then dealing with the other agents and dealing with objections and making sure you keep that deal together. You are in control of all those things, with all those balls in the air to get the deal closed and make the journey very less stressful for the buyer and the seller.
Right.
So I think that's all I had for today. And I think time-wise, I did pretty good.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, so there's still a lot of opportunity out there, right, in this market, and eventually it will turn. I don't think we're going to see a buyer's market for quite a while.
No.
Right. So focus on your listing skills at this point, and solve a problem. I mean, that's the whole sales game right now. Is what is the problem that people are in home? I can tell you right now, you solve the biggest problem homeowners have is like, where are they going to move to?
Yeah.
Right. You got to be thinking about that question, because there's probably a subset of people who do want to sell their home, take advantage of this marketing time, but don't know if they can afford the next house. Right. And you got to help them start doing the math. And that's why you have to have a good lender and a partner there to know those numbers and help solve that problem, because there's people who want to sell. I know. I can think of conversations I've had just in this last couple of weeks where people are like, I want to sell my house, but we don't know where to go, and we don't know if we can afford to move up. Right.
Well, so one of the tips that I tell everybody is, if you have a seller that's on the fence because they don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to be able to find a house. So you find out what neighborhood they want to live in, how much they want to pay. You get the pre-qualified, whatever, so they know exactly. You take those two fear factors out of their decision. And then you go to that neighborhood, and guess what? You knock on the door, or you send them a letter, and you say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Jones really want to live in this neighborhood. Their children love this school. And would you at least entertain a one-time listing agreement? Right. Let me just bring the buyer by. If he wants to buy your house, it'll save you money because it didn't go on the MLS. Whatever it is, there's so many benefits to it, and based on what they're saying, you'll know what to say. Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you have a buyer, then all you're doing is now, if you come to a homeowner with an offer already in hand, potentially, I mean, it makes the transaction much quicker, right? And then you got to start doing these types of, second, third level type of thinking and strategy in this market environment where it's tight. And this is where the professionals and the ones that are honing their craft every single day and thinking about these things in this business win. Yes. Right. So go out there. I mean, we're running at the top of the hour.
Yep.
So get out there. There's 2.5-ish months left in the year here until 2022 happens. Yep. Create your business plan. Go out there. If you're not brand building right now on YouTube, Google, and Facebook, maybe make it a goal next year to do so at a high level, because that stuff is not going away, and more people, are looking to work with people they know, like, and trust. And in order for them to know you and like and trust you, they got to see you out there doing your craft and presenting yourself in a way that helps build your brand.
Absolutely. And the more you learn, the more you earn. And on Monday, we are teaching The Attorney General is on line 1. Jimmy Degg and I created this new law class. He did most of the heavy lifting, and we're going to present it for the first time in our training center from 2 to 5 on Monday. Free refreshments always. And then we have a contracts class and an ethics class, and the law class, agency class, contracts class, and agency. So we have all the 4 cores in the next 2 weeks. So law is Monday. Let's see, I can't read my own. That contracts is on Wednesday. Agency is next Monday. And then ethics is Thursday. So within 2 weeks, you can get 12 credits.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
Free lunches and free
free lunches. Right. Exactly right. Well, good. Yeah. And you got to sign up at bee.vegas.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great week here. Tune in on Monday morning at 9 a.m. for Ruth and her show during the week.